Hello everybody, thank you for joining me for part 2 of your weekend love reading from March 27th to March 29th, 2020. This reading is going to be for Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio. So keep in mind that these can apply to any placements you have in your chart. If you are a cross watcher, I do not judge you, but do keep in mind that while you may not have one of those placements, you will have those signs in one of your houses. That said, I do implore you to have your natal chart open while we do this reading. Keep in mind that time and energy are fluid, so these messages can apply to you, another person, or vice versa. If it doesn't fit, don't force it, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. With that said, I'm going to take a deep breath so that we may connect deeper with our higher selves in spirit, and I do implore you to do the same. Call out to spirit to please help myself and anyone watching this to hear, see, and know anything we need to hear, see, and know for the weekend of March 27th to March 29th, 2020 in love. Hello Leo. Keep in mind that this can apply to any Leo placement you have in your chart. If you do not have a Leo placement and you are a cross watcher, I do not judge you, but keep in mind that you will have Leo in one of your houses. That said, I do implore you to have your chart open while we do this reading. Keep in mind that time and energy are fluid, so these messages can apply to you, another person, or vice versa. So you do not force it if it doesn't fit. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Alright? I hope you're doing well. We are going to do... What do you want, Spirit? 2 shuffles? Spirit says 2 shuffles. We're going to do 2 shuffles, and we're going to get into the energies for your weekend of March 27th to March 29th, 2020. Okay, I've got the deck for you, Leo. Let's see what we got for you. Eight of Wands reverse, Queen of Swords reverse, the Wheel of Fortune, and Three of Pentacles. No, it's not clarifying here. No, it is actually. Okay, we'll take it. So let's see, if we're taking a look at the overall energy, Three of Pentacles to me can represent being off balance, needing to take the steps necessary to further your own personal path, but also bring yourself back into balance, right? Three of Pentacles to me represents the divine triad, mind, body, and soul. If you do look at this from like a monotheistic perspective, this can represent the humans, the earth, and God, right? There's different ways to look at the divine triangle. Aside from the point, what I'm seeing here as this overall energy with the Nine of Pentacles reverse is telling me that if this is somebody you're dealing with, I feel like there's a sense of them being very selfish. Not to the point of like a healthy type of boundaries type of selfishness, but maybe being really selfish when it comes to how they want to interact with you and your energy. This Queen of Swords reverse can represent another person. It can represent an air sign you're dealing with. When the Queen of Swords is in reverse, this represents somebody that may have some really like malintent. They may be very vindictive. They may really just cut through you with their words is what's coming through. And that's what I'm seeing with this Eight of Wands reverse. Eight of Wands reverse can speak to me of, while the Eight of Wands can be a distance type of energy, a long distance type of energy, this really just feels to me like there have been some very harsh messages and lessons coming through. So if this does represent you, this can represent your inner feminine energy, not gender specific. But this does feel like a lesson that is being learned with whoever this energy is, because we have the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune to me feels like a very karmic type of energy, right? It feels like the wheel of karma turning, lessons being learned, and needing to accept the fact that there are lessons to be learned in this situation, but we're going to clarify. Clarifying this, we have the Queen of Pentacles, clarifying the Eight of Wands reverse, clarifying the Queen of Swords, we have the Empress, clarifying the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Seven of Cups reverse. Bottom of the deck, we do have Three of Pentacles in the upright this time, and then Page of Cups, and then we have the Eight of Wands coming out again in the upright. So this is interesting, because we're getting 2 different looks right now. It could be different people we're looking at right now, but the fact that we have the Three of Pentacles both in the upright and the reverse, and the Eight of Wands in the upright and the reverse. It's an interesting energy, but I really feel like this is speaking about you and another person, or paths that you're needing to choose right now. So I'm really just drawn to this Empress card. So when the Empress comes out in a love reading, to me this does speak a very twin flaming type of energy. When I see the Emperor and the Empress, this does speak to me of counterparts. Given we do not have any other counterparts on the table, we do have all feminine energy on the table, so this can very much apply to your internal feminine energy, but can also apply to somebody who is a dominant feminine energy in your life. Keeping in mind that Leo energy and fire energy within the tarot is very masculine energy, so you may be feeling like a very masculine dominated person, keeping in mind that it's not gender specific and we all have those energies. But aside from that, if we're taking a look at this Queen of Pentacles being clarified with the Eight of Wands reverse, Queen of Pentacles to me speaks of somebody that is very, very, what's the word, diplomatic, very, very organized, very just like Empress type of status. Like really, like the Queen of Pentacles to me speaks to me of somebody who is really graduating to that Empress status. And that is what we see here with the Empress. The Empress can represent fertility. The Empress can represent just like overall femininity in general. And so what I'm feeling like right now, it's like there's a sense of you just really need to let this person go through what it is they need to go through, right? And it's not your responsibility to take on the trials and tribulations of everybody that comes into your life. Because I'm seeing very contradictory energies here. So I'm feeling like this represents you down here. This Empress energy can very well represent you. This Queen of Swords can represent this person up here. And there's a need to let the wheel turn on its own and to stop putting so much effort into things that just don't seem to be fruitful, right? But the fact that we have the Page of Cups as the overall energy clarifying here is this energy of like wanting to come through, wanting to send messages of love. I mean, that's really indicative of the Eight of Wands. I'm going to be honest, like just like the last Leo reading, I feel like words are really eluding me with this reading. The energies just feel very, I'll put it this way. Whenever it comes to a love reading, and if another energy does tend to come out, but there's not much insight into that energy, that's often because the person may want to make themselves known, but there may be a lot of things that this person does not want shown in the reading, because there is free will. And while I don't intentionally go looking to dig into people's lives and energies, I do have to respect when there is a type of energetic boundary coming through in the reading, and that is what's coming through. It feels like the fact that there is such contradictory energy feels like right now is not the time to focus so much on this other person, but is the time to really focus on yourself. And the Seven of Cups to me is telling me that you really need to kind of revive a type of playfulness with your own internal experience, especially while this wheel is turning. So I'm just going to get to closing messages, because if I'm being honest here, like, while the cards are here and there are some messages, it does feel like this is a very veil type of energy. It feels like there's a lot being hidden, but for a reason. And so when that happens, I feel like the universe often wants us to tap into our own personal intuition. And maybe that's the message here. We'll see what comes out with the animal messages, but I feel like right now, Spirit's main advice to you right now is to learn to tap into your intuitive guidance, and that's what's coming through with this Queen of Pentacles and Empress energy, right? So, like, you know, take care of your life and do what you need to do, but you need to make sure that you take time to tap into that internal guidance instead of focusing so much on what this person is showing you or how it is they present themselves to be moving forward. Let's get a closing message. It's very interesting energy coming out. It's very similar to the energy that came out last weekend. So I do apologize if this is a bit, slow and go with this energy that I'm trying to get out to you, but, when the messages are what they are, it's what they are, and I can't really fight that. So it says B, hard work is rewarded with responsibility and a sweetness that is shared. So again, I feel like that's why the messages may be a little sparse right now, because I feel like it's a time of needing to do the inner work. This can represent the need to heal the feminine aspects of your experience, given this is a Queen of Swords energy. But this shows me that this is happening, and that you don't always have to be the one to put so much effort, whether it's in relationships or internal healing. And recognize the fact that the universe will often meet you halfway. If the universe sees that you're really, really doing the work, that you're actually trying, recognizing that it is okay to take a step back if you need to. It's okay to take breaks, and you don't always have to work so hard. But it's interesting because we have the B, and the B can represent needing to do hard work, working very hard, but it can also represent being too busy. If you're busying yourself to not recognize what it is that needs to be healed, or if you're overworking yourself, I feel like this energy is coming through as the need to learn to take a step back, a need to learn how to enjoy life a little bit, and to not focus so much on what needs to get done, but just really just relax, like just take a step back, like I said, like 3 times in a row, because that's really what Spirit wants to come through apparently. So it's really like feeling like right now is a good time to detach, not only from this relationship, but from some of the difficult experiences you may be having in life. As you can tell, like I'm having trouble getting this reading out for some reason. Even just I'm like stumbling over my words, which isn't an occurrence that comes, I feel like, with reading sometimes. At least lately it's been, pretty quick to go, but this reading is just very like, it's like hitting a wall, and I feel like that's representative of what you need to face right now. Like, recognize your limitations, and if you're looking at the Saturn energy we have right now, Saturn in Aquarius, especially if it is your Saturn return, learning to recognize your limitations. But that's really all I have for you. I apologize if this reading was a little slow and go, and it was a little jumbled with some of the messages that came through, but I feel like that's just really indicative of the fact that you need to slow down, and you need to take a step back and let things work themselves out and stop exerting yourself so much. With that said, that does conclude your weekend reading. I love you so much. Send me an email to jzargoshepard@gmail.com if you would like to book a personal reading. But that said, that is it, and I will see you in your next reading. Bye-bye. Hello, Virgo. Hope you're doing well. Keep in mind that this reading can apply to any Virgo placement you have in your charts. If you are a cross-watcher, I do not judge you, but keep in mind that you will have Virgo in one of your houses. That said, I do implore you to have your charts open while we do this reading. Keep in mind that time and energy are fluid, so these messages can apply to you, another person, or vice versa. So do not force it if it doesn't fit. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But that said, we're going to go ahead and do 3 shuffles before getting into your energy for the weekend of March 27th to March 29th. Got the Magician, as you can see. Okay. What do we got for you, Virgo? We have Temperance, 8 of Cups, and 4 of Pentacles, clarified by the 10 of Pentacles and the Lovers. 10 of Pentacles, yeah, okay, I thought it was reverse, it's not. So I'm going to straighten these out, and then we're going to get into the energies for the week for you. Weekend, excuse me, I keep saying week, but this is a weekend reading. Although it can apply for the week, so maybe that's the case. Maybe you're going to watch this during the week or something, and that's just what's going to come through for you. So, if we're taking a look at this overall energy, given the Magician did want to come out, the Magician being the card of Mercury, card of communication, card of manifestation, this can represent the fact that you are coming to a very abundant state in relationships and life in general. But what is interesting is the fact that we do have the 10 of Pentacles clarified by the Lovers reverse. And so what I'm feeling like right now, if this is in the context of a relationship, while this is a love reading, this can represent the fact that there may be some type of, completion of a karmic cycle with somebody that you're dealing with, but it can also represent the fact that you are coming to a deeper aspect of the relationship, but there is a pause. And that's what I see here with the Lovers reverse. It is a card of Gemini, but given it's the reverse, it can't represent decisions. It's representing a lack of decision making, particularly in the context of a relationship as it pertains to the financial realms and the material realms. And so I feel like a big reason for the stagnation or lack of decision making is because you're trying to figure out how this relationship is going to work financially. That's what's coming through. Because Pentacles are also known as coins, material wealth, physical abundance, material abundance, what have you. But the fact that we do have Temperance here, the 8 of Cups, and 4 of Pentacles. 4 of Pentacles to me is what I'm being drawn to. It can represent the need to let go. It can also represent holding on too tightly. So let's kind of clarify here. I want to get some clarification before I get into these, because the 8 of Pentacles to me, 8 of Cups, can represent needing to walk away from something, letting go of something, overall emotional dissatisfaction. And it may be pertaining to this physical situation here. given that some of us may be in a separation due to, a variety of circumstances in the collective right now, and I feel like that is causing you to reevaluate what it is you need out of a relationship, and what it is you need, not only emotionally, but physically, right? So like trying to recognize, like, do you actually see yourself building with this person, but also trying to understand what it means to build with somebody, and maybe redefining what it means to build with somebody. So we're going to clarify here. Temperance can also represent, coming into balance, needing to balance yourself out, but given we do have the Nine of Wands clarifying, Death reverse clarifying this Eight of Cups reverse, no, it's upright, excuse me. Three of Swords clarifying this Four Pentacles. That's really, I'm not clarifying this overall energy. That bottom of the deck doesn't really seem to be resonating right now, so I want to take a look at this Three of Swords. Three of Swords, it can be mental balance. It can represent the need to balance the mind, but it also represents heartbreak. Three of Swords to me is also the heartbreak card in a context of love. And so I'm feeling like right now, there's the need to let yourself heal. There's a need to let go of some heartbreaks. Whether it's you or this other person, I'm being told this is more than likely you, because we have no court cards on the table. The only court card that came out was this Queen of Pentacles reverse at the bottom of the deck, but that does not really seem to be an energy that's coming through right now. So this does feel like a very internal, reflective type of energy. And so you need to let this situation transform, but you need to learn to let yourself transform. And it's as if you're holding yourself captive and you're not letting yourself grow past ideas that you held about relationships. And so what I'm being shown is as if you're taking on these ideas from your family, from your friends, and even from mainstream media, and you're holding on to these ideas of what a relationship needs to look like. And that's why you're feeling disappointed, because it's not looking like what you thought it was going to look like, but you're needing to learn to accept it for what it is, right? So what I'm feeling like here with this Nine of Wands, to me, with the Temperance card, it's telling me that you need to learn to accept help from other people. You need to be okay with asking for advice and asking for help, and recognizing that you don't have to figure this out all on your own, right? And I think doing so is what's going to bring a deeper sense of clarity that's going to lead to a healthy, conscious decision. Clarify. Closing message here for you. Clarify what the animal message is. We do have the deer. The deer says, take note of the messages in whispers and secrets adrift on the breeze. So while this can represent you needing to ask for help from other people, I feel like this more so pertains to asking for help from the universe or your spirit guides or your higher self or whatever resonates with you, right? So there's this sense of needing to really take time to move slowly and to move cautiously. I mean, I'm not really sure there's much else coming out. I feel like that message is pretty concise. I was about to delve into, the symbolism of a deer, but it really doesn't seem to pertain to this situation. Okay, Spirit says it can pertain if we make it pertain, but it's not really something that seems to be at the forefront of the reading right now. But if we do decide to look at that, because Spirit is pushing me to do it, so I'm going to go ahead and do it anyways. So if we're looking at the symbology of a deer is a creature that's very timid, a creature that is very, very cautious, very, very quiet, very, very nimble, right? I said very so many times. I was like 6 to 8 varies in one sentence. Anyways, so if we're looking at that in the context of this relationship, there's a need to be nimble in this situation. There's a need to be nimble when it comes to the way you operate with your own personal emotional wellness, and recognizing the fact that it's okay to take time to heal. And in order for yourself to make a healthy decision, you need to be able to heal this heartbreak. You need to be able to let go of this heartbreak, but recognizing that it takes time and that it is okay if you're not where you think you should be, which is also a message that comes out a lot on this channel, I notice. So it's really recognizing the fact that it's okay to find solace in other people. It's okay to find solace within yourself, honestly. You don't have to rely on other people. It's just needing to let yourself balance out, honestly, Virgo. To close out this reading here for you, recognizing that there are some things that are beautiful in your life and needing to take notice of that. Specifically with this 10 of Pentacles as the overall energy, it is a beautiful card to have as the overall energy, especially with the Magician. And that is telling me that this period right now may be tough. You may not know which way to go. You may be a little bit frightened. You may not know what it is you're going to do next, But just understand that this is the period that is leading to this Ten of Pentacles. This is manifesting. Whether this is a relationship or material abundance, it is coming into your life. It is manifesting, but this is a part of the process. Plain and simple. You gotta let yourself go through the process, quite honestly. But that said, that just concludes your weekend love reading, Virgo. I love you so much. If you would like to book a personal reading, please send an email to jzargoshepard@gmail.com. But that said, I hope you have a beautiful weekend. I hope you stay safe and stay calm out there. But I will see you in your next reading. Bye-bye. Hello, Libra. Hope you're doing well. Keep in mind that this reading can apply to any Libra placement that you have in your chart. If you are a cross-watcher, I do not judge you, but do keep in mind that while you may not have a Libra placement, you will have Libra in one of your houses. That said, I do implore you to have your chart open while we do this reading. Keep in mind that time and energy are fluid, so these messages can apply to you, another person, or vice versa. So do not force it if it doesn't fit. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But that said, we're going to do 2 shuffles, and we're going to get into the energies for the weekend in love for you from March 27th to March 29th, 2020. So the Ace of Cups peek out there. We got the Lovers peeking out here. What do we got going on for you, Libra? Hope you're doing well. One more shuffle. We're going to see what comes through for you. Got the Lovers coming out again. If it comes out though, we'll see. The Spirit says no, cut the deck because that's all the universe. So we have Queen of Cups, we have Princess of Cups, and we have the Four of Wands with the universe. So I feel like the main message I'm hearing is spiritual graduation. And so I'm seeing a progression here, the Princess to the Queen, right? This can represent you and another person, can represent feminine energies in the relationship, because it seems like a beautiful spiritual foundation. It feels like a very, very nice, lighthearted, fun energy. A very emotionally expressive type of energy. So you may be dealing with a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. I almost forgot I was like, what's the last water sign? Can't believe I almost forgot. Anyway, so the universe has the overall energy here. It really does feel like a beautiful, you know what, I'm going to take this too, because the Ten of Wands, Ten of Swords reverse was at the bottom of the deck, and it's coming out in relation to this. So it's feeling like right now, you've come to the end of some very difficult times. This Ten of Swords to me represents very burdensome type of energy, given swords are of the mind. It can also represent communication, but it feels like you're coming to the end of some very arduous cycles in a particular relationship or within yourself. Given we do have the Four of Wands with the Princess and the Queen, while we do not have any counterparts in this reading right now, this does feel like a type of spiritual connection that you may be dealing with. But it doesn't feel like a difficult energy. It feels like something that's fresh, something that's new. And that's what I'm seeing here with this Princess of Cups. It feels like something that is, really just started, something that is very emotionally fulfilling is what's coming through. So let's clarify here to get a bit more clarification for you. Oh, okay. This one wanted to come out. We got the Knight of Wands. Could very well be somebody that wants to come forward and start this with you. But it does feel like this is taking off swiftly. So let's clarify. We have the Star reverse and we have the Strength reverse. So the main message I'm getting here, actually, we could take Death too, and the Three of Swords coming out. See if I can move these without messing up the cards. Nope. Bear with me as I try to straighten these out here. So if we're taking a look at this overall energy that came out for you, bottom of the decks, Three of Swords and Death reverse. In the context of this relationship, this feels like I'm getting this feeling that you're afraid that this will turn out like your past. You're afraid that this is going to be something that's going to just be in 1 minute, out the next. You're afraid that this isn't going to be what you think it is. But what I'm seeing here is that's really just not the case. And that is your past that is speaking to you. That is your past heartbreaks that you're healing from that are keeping you in this state of feeling like this is a repetition. In reality, it doesn't feel like it. So like the Nine of Wands here feels like somebody has came into your life really quickly, which I'm seeing here with this Princess of Cups. It feels like somebody has come in very swiftly. They have been saying and doing all the right things. And you're almost kind of like, oh, is this too good to be true? Like, I don't know, this and that. But the fact that we have the Star reverse tells me that this is not the case. That is just your own perception. And you're not listening to your higher self. You're not trusting your intuition. You're not seeing this relationship for what it really is, and you're painting it from your past. And so the Strength reverse, clarifying this Princess of Cups reverse, It tells me you need to learn to trust in this connection. You need to really learn to tame your inner beast when it comes to the shadow type emotions that come up for you. Because I really do feel like if we let negative emotions run too rampant within our life, it is going to impact the way we view relationships. It is inevitably going to impact the way they move forward in our life if we do not handle these emotions as they come up. So it's a message of recognizing the fact that yes, this is great, this is healthy, this is beautiful, but you still need to make sure to do the inner work and to not use this relationship as a scapegoat. And don't use this relationship as a way to put off anything that you do need to get done, specifically as it comes to your internal world. So let's clarify. Closing message. Closing message here for Libra, using animal messages. So, closing message here, what do we have? We have the octopus says, travel across Earth and oversea to securely embrace your dream. So I think another message coming through here for you, because the Knight of Wands can also represent somebody who is on their life path, can represent your spiritual journey, if you will. So this represents the need to continue to follow your dreams, continue to grow spiritually, and to not let a relationship be the thing that you put all of your energy into. And I think that's a big lesson you're learning right now, is even though you find a relationship and you find something healthy, what turns it unhealthy is when you place all of your attention and happiness into this person and you forget about everything that you were doing before, right? And so like if you were building a beautiful life and you were doing all these really beautiful things and you had all these great projects going, but then the moment somebody comes along, you just immediately forget about them and you just completely just abandon anything that has to do with your own personal like life path. That's a lesson that you need to learn right now. And I feel like the reason you're afraid of this coming to an end is because you are the one that's repeating the same cycles. So even if a relationship is healthy, the fact that you're, again, placing all of your energy and love and desire and just energy into this person and you're not giving that to anything else in your life, it's going to cause a type of disappointment when things shift. As things naturally in our lives all shift, not in the sense like, oh, this is coming to a screeching halt and this is ending, but recognizing that like everything in life is fluid. And there's going to be phases to projects, relationships, internal experiences. To me, it's very a watery type of nature. The same way our emotions are very watery and we have to float with them, we have to recognize the fact that relationships do take on this type of quality as well. And so recognizing that you do need to have other outlets and placing your energy, like spreading it out in a way that is healthy, is going to lead to a healthier connection. And that's what's going to prevent the past from repeating itself, because a lot of that is perpetuated through our own internal cycles and behavioral patterns. But that said, that is all I have for you, Libra. A very beautiful energy. It does sound like things are going amazing. It's just a reminder that, hey, don't forget about yourself and don't forget about your life too, right? But yeah, I wish you the best. It really feels like a nice energy here. Congratulations on this new relationship you may be embarking on. It feels very nice. It feels very healthy. I'm really happy for you. But if you would like to book a personal reading, please send me an email to jzargoshepard@gmail.com. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. I hope you stay safe and stay calm out there. But I will see you in your next reading. Bye-bye. Hello, Scorpio. Hope you're doing well. Keep in mind that this reading can apply to any Scorpionic placement you have in your chart. If you are a cross-watcher, I do not judge you, but do keep in mind that while you may not have a Scorpionic placement, you will have Scorpio in one of your houses. That said, I do implore you to have your chart open while we do this reading. Keep in mind that time and energy are fluid, so these messages can apply to you, another person, or vice versa. That said, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Don't force it if it doesn't fit. We're going to do 3 shuffles and get into your energies for the weekend, of March 27th to March 29th, 2020 in love. One more shuffle. Bear with me as I shuffle here. That was a sight to see, wasn't it? Alright, so let's see here. I'm going to cut the deck for you, Scorpio, see what we got. So we do have the 5 of Wands. We have the 4 of Swords reverse, the 4 of Wands, and what is this? The Knight of Cups reverse, Judgment reverse, 2 of Cups reverse. So So I'm going to straighten these out and we're going to get to your energies for the weekend. Oops. So if we are taking a look at this Nine of Cups reverse and the Judgment reverse, as well as the Two of Cups reverse, what I'm seeing with these energies, Two of Cups to me can represent the inner union of masculine and feminine energies. Nine of Cups reverse tells me you may be a little bit too self-indulgent right now. If you are drinking a little bit too much, maybe cut back. But if we look at the Judgment reverse here, it tells me that you're being too hard on yourself. And that's what's causing you to be in this state of this overly self-indulgent energy. It's because you're being too hard on yourself. And you're not recognizing the fact that this is actually part of your spiritual learning process. And that's what I'm seeing here with the Four of Wands. Four of Wands to me represents a spiritual foundation, can represent your own spiritual path, can represent, it is a card of marriage in the Rider-Waite Tarot, but it doesn't feel like there's any counterpart energy coming through right now. If that does come through, we'll speak on it. But right now, this does feel very internal. So if we're looking at the Five of Wands here, Five of Wands can represent a disagreeing type of energy is what I'm hearing. There's a sense of not being in agreement with yourself, because this does feel like a very internal energy. And so it feels like your masculine and feminine energies are at odds right now, because one side says, hey, it's okay, trust the way things are going. But then the masculine side says, no, I feel like this isn't right. Like, well, I shouldn't be in this period of resting. I should be doing this, or I should be doing that, or this should be working out, or this should be going this way. But the fact of the matter is you need to find a balance between those two. You need to recognize that while you may be feeling stuck and stagnant, that doesn't always mean you are. And that often just means that we need to take the time to really just sift through what is coming up for us. So let's clarify for you. So what do we have? We have Seven of Swords clarifying this Five of Wands. We have the Justice card again. Well, actually, no, this is Judgment. This is Justice. Excuse me. So then we have Six of Pentacles reverse. Yeah, I seem to always mess these up when I place that third one, so I should start leaving more space. So if we're looking at... I'm really drawn to the Seven of Swords and Justice right now. And I'm feeling, what I'm hearing is karmic retribution is going to come to those who deserve it, right? And so if somebody may have, did you dirty, they may have really hurt you, you gotta recognize the fact that the universe is going to balance that out. And oftentimes, it is not our responsibility to take on the burden of making people meet their karmic retribution. And by doing so, it often just makes it worse for ourselves. Seven of Swords can represent a sneaky type of energy, can represent somebody you're dealing with, but it can also represent the way you go about things in relationships. And so that's what I'm seeing here. Like this Five of Wands and this Seven of Swords feels like a very petty type of energy. Given that this doesn't seem to have any counterparts on the table, this can apply to your personal experience. However, Justice can represent the card of Libra. You may be dealing with a Libra. May very well not be the case. Take it as it resonates, but we don't have any counterparts on the table. So what I'm feeling like right now is you need to really let go of the pettiness. You need to let go of the need to feel like you need to go behind people's backs to get your vengeance. If you have a penchant for being vengeful, there's a need to let go of that, right? And that's what I'm seeing with the Six of Pentacles reverse. It's like you're not going to be able to receive the lessons if you don't let go of this type of energy. If you don't give yourself time to rest, and if you don't give yourself time to let go of the pettiness. By taking this time, you're going to actually recognize the deeper mechanisms of this pettiness and recognize that it often is pointing to the need to face some deeper issues at play. We're going to get a closing message for you, though. It seems like a very quick, succinct message. Excuse the dump truck. So let's... And I'm also, before I get the message here, what I'm hearing is, in order to be open to receive, you need to let yourself receive from your spirit. You need to let your soul nurture you and nourish you before you can receive from somebody else. Closing message, though, we have the baboon. It says, in love and declarations of passion, heartfelt communication is the key. And I really feel like this applies to your internal experience. experience. It really doesn't feel like an external experience you're dealing with right now. I mean, it can represent a heartbreak you may be healing from with the Two of Pentacles, Two of Cups reverse. But what I'm more feeling like is you need to learn to be nicer to yourself and need to really watch your self-talk and recognize when you're speaking ill upon yourself, and like learning to forgive yourself for being in this energy in the first place and recognizing that it came from somewhere. It's not always reflective of you as a person. It's not always reflective on you as a person. It really just makes you recognize the fact that like you've taken on that from somebody else, like the negative self-talk and the things that you're saying to yourself and the way you may be viewing yourself is representative of what you may have taken on from previous partners, from your parents, from even ancestral karma that needs to be healed. And so that's really just the main message that comes through for me. I do apologize if I don't know how long the truck has been going for. I usually wear headphones to like block out outside noise, but when stuff gets pretty loud I can hear outside noises, so I apologize if the truck has been going for the majority of your reading. I didn't even hear it until the last few minutes. But I mean, that's really all that's coming out for you, Scorpio. Learn to be a little bit nicer to yourself. Step out of this petty energy. Don't use your heartbreak and don't use your pain as a means to, take it out on other people. If you're going to treat people the way they treat you, make sure that you're not adding to your karmic plate as it is, right? So if somebody has really done you dirty, doing them dirty back isn't going to do any good. It's just going to make it worse for yourself and likely perpetuate this cycle of pettiness. So I think closing message for you, bring yourself out of the pettiness, be nicer to yourself, and recognize the deeper spiritual lessons coming through for you right now. But that said, that's all I have for you, Scorpio. I love you so much, and I hope you have a beautiful weekend. If you would like to book a personal reading, please send an email to jzargoshepard@gmail.com. But that said, that concludes your reading, and I will see you in your next reading. Stay safe and stay calm out there. Bye-bye. Okay, so that actually does conclude part 2 of the reading. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're even watching this part, I do appreciate you. I will have part 1 and 3 in the description, as well as last week's collective reading. But that said, that does conclude part 2 of the reading. I will see you all in part 3. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. Bye-bye.